not the typical director. I don't work the way most people who are trained to direct, because I'm a teacher first. And my thinking about teaching kids and adults or anybody is that I direct them, but then I thought, well, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And I always gave them their presence and what they want.
Mary is at her core an educator first, and that makes it really easy to come back to her for more information and to do more things for her, because she just wants everyone to learn. She has this natural ability to draw people in.
I've known Mary since I was a little kid. I was in children's choir at church, and then I started doing drama camp with her in the summers. You know, just the feeling of the whole group and the way that Mary brought everybody together. I decided to go into theater education myself.
I have a common disease that a lot of folks in this group have, that we're not able to say no to Mary Springer under any circumstances. Once you meet Mary, you're just unable to say no to her. It is because she is able to find the very best in people and bring that out. She's the reason I became a teacher.
It's usually the first meeting. Once you meet Mary, it's infectious. You can't say no to that woman. She just inspires you so much that you just can't say no.
She makes you want to be a part of it. And I don't know that I've ever really met anyone that's that same way, who kind of draws people in like that. Like, Mary asks and people show up because she's Mary, and people love working with her.
My mom was able to make everyone feel special. 100% of the people who were involved in that production, from the performers on stage to the folks who were helping backstage, to the directors, to the ushers, like, she just knew how to tap into that place where, you know, we all desperately need and want community. We all desperately need and want to be seen. And my mom just inherently knows how to give that to people.
Mary Springer is the opposite of the Seattle Freeze. She is welcoming and joy and warmth, and it's just people gravitate towards that.
One of the things that I think is really important about her is that she treats everybody, all her actors, all her tech people, as family, as friends.
The fact that so many people came back every year, and then when new people joined, they were welcomed with open arms. And it just created this amazing family.
It was the first group where I really felt like I belonged someplace. Mary believes in people so hard and so fully and so wholly and so earnestly that it's like she's got belief to lend out.
It's been a place where I've been able to rediscover my love of acting, just being with people and laughing, not being afraid to make mistakes.
She wanted to cast everybody in the show, which we couldn't do, but there was always an opportunity for that actor who didn't have the background and the experience to still get on stage and experience being on stage and have a wonderful experience that might propel them forward with what they wanted to do.
I've also been able to play a leading role here, and I don't always get to do that. So it was a very cool moment of, these people saw something in me and they trusted me.
The theater scene here is really hard to break into, and it's hard for you to find someone who will take a chance on you. Even if you have kind of an extensive resume, it's hard to find someone who will embrace a new face. Mary has really provided those of us who feel like we are interested in building community with theater with a lovely template and a lovely example.
The opportunities that 12th Night has given me are ones that I would not have found anywhere else. I would not have been brave enough to try anywhere else, and so I really owe a lot of my most soul-fulfilling experiences to Mary and Rick and Kathy and everybody who's been running this and just encouraging us to be a part of it.
You know, you just can't believe the performances she gets out of young people. It's really something, the way that she brings people into their own.
Having a director let you be playful and let you try things or suggest things is important, because they're not just pushing an idea on you, they're allowing that growth, and it gives people a chance to be more free in performing.
Mary has always been a director that, for me, has made suggestions and offered input, but has really let people develop themselves and put themselves into the character in their own way. And casting has to do with, well, what does this person want to try?
She provided everyone the opportunity to develop their characters themselves, and she trusted us to work that way.
She liked to let actors make their own choices. You know, whatever we did as actors had to fit in what her idea of the blocking was. And as long as it fit in that, and as long as it wasn't too far out there, Mary let us make choices.
She really only wants everybody to be happy and look good. That's really her bottom line.
She has both a very strong vision, but also this childlike wonder about her. In her presence, I don't know how the hell she does it. She makes you feel like you are the most important person. I can't say enough about her and cry about her, apparently, so.
Well, community theater, by definition, is not professional theater. So if you're going to be part of 12th Night, you got to be part of a community. We're all going to be a family in this together.
There's been so many people who volunteered, and in our pit too, I think they got like a small stipend or something, but it's nothing with all the rehearsals that they've done. And we were a smaller community theater, but we had a whole pit orchestra.
It was the people in the booth, the people in the catwalks doing stuff, the people that built the set, the actors, Mary, and everybody else.
On stage, I think the players are people who want to be a part of theater, but it's not their way to make a living. They want to enjoy themselves and just use the talents they've got.
I think there's something so awesome and special about all these people who we're just, for the most part, kind of random adults that have our day jobs, but we still wanted to come together and make this fun, silly, big, crazy thing.
They treat everything professionally, but yet it's been a community theater in the truest and warmest sense.
Also, I think community theater oftentimes makes it lesson than theater, but I don't think that's true. I mean, I think the quality of our performances are extraordinary.
I do remember that shift from a group that was more insular, the same people showing up every year, and it was with the production of Into the Woods. We had more people come out that were outside of our community. It opened the group up to a wider community of actors and talent, but also helped kind of step up things for the people who worked with the company for many years.
For many years, I would get the sets built, and I would also go to a lot of the rehearsals. That's where Mary needed assistance. She's great with costumes. She knows a lot about clothing, and she knows the music, but she wasn't into set building. I guess it's the challenge of trying to make something out of what we have and to be visually interesting, but practical, not over the top, crazy expensive.
Kathy kept the wheels on the bus. Kathy remembers stuff. My mom is the artistic sort of loving chaos brain, and Kathy is the very logic, this has to happen before this has to happen before this has to happen. And you need both of those people in a nonprofit organization.
We call our storage units the red door. When we made the moves from one storage place to another storage place to another storage place, I organized those. This is all of our flat stuff. We've got platforms and our flats. We've got some door units there. That big tall thing back there is a long ramp. And then we've got some more platforms and pieces over here. This is our place.
We use this for the sound for opening and closing a door of a car when we were doing the radio show. Sounded pretty good. We used this when we did Hairspray. It's turquoise, just saying. I love turquoise. This one has history. And I saved it because it's been so well used and loved, even though it looks like it's not worth anything, but it is. I been collecting so much because we could fill it up, and we filled it up. When we started 28 years ago, we had a rack and some clothes that we could use there, and that's all we had, and we added to that every year a bunch. They're selling this building, and they're going to tear it down, so we can't like figure out who we rent it from. And we've got some time, but we'd like to go through it and sell as much as we can. Five and a half years ago, I had a stroke, and I was able to do more than we thought maybe I would be able to do. The last 3 shows, I was just a presence. I was an assistant production person, but it wasn't mine anymore, and that's fine. I was glad that somebody else could do it because I couldn't. I wanted to keep it going, but I also realized that I couldn't do it, and things had changed in theater post-pandemic. I mean, we had 2 musicals at the end that were just wonderful, but we were also going to lose our space. I was tired.
Oh, it's gonna be hard to do. There's a lot of processing still to do, I think. Besides the sadness, there is a lot of joy that just comes with thinking about 12th Night. I'm just thankful that I got to have the years that I did with all these people and doing these cool things and putting together these really fantastic shows.
12th Night has put on some of the best shows that I have seen in Seattle, period. With 12th Night ending and moving on into the next chapter, one thing I have peace in the next chapter is that we are still going to be a family moving ahead.
As I contemplate trying to get back on stage one day, it's hard to think about doing it without 12th Night. Sad, but lots of wonderful memories.
This has always been a home that I can come back to. I've been lost in my life at times, and even years later, you just jump back in, and whether it's a cabaret or a show or just, having wine on Rick and Mary's porch, it's family.
12th Night kind of gave me a home when I needed one, and people and a support system that I know has been and always will be there, even with it not actively around.
I always say on reality shows, they're like, hey, I'm not here to make friends. I'm always like, look, I am only here to make friends. And I have.
It was always something I could return to. If I would go away for a year or 2 and not be a part of a show, then it was something that I could come back to. And I feel quite blessed to have been able to be a part of it for the last dozen years.
Even though there's a piece coming to a close, there's all of these seeds planted. So growth can happen and things can come from being a teacher, being a director, and planting all those seeds that Mary did.
The influence that 12th Night has had on the Seattle theater community will continue to ripple out for a very, very, very long time, if not, forever. So many people kind of have had some very formational experiences here, and those people have taken those lessons that they've learned at 12th Night with Mary and carried them into, regular contracts at the Fifth or, anywhere in town.
So Mary clearly touched a lot of lives, and a lot of people love her and love her work and what she did. The legacy of 12th Night can inspire future theater companies to maybe follow a similar model of fellowship and togetherness, and just like a very kind, inviting company.
This has been a place of building people up and not having ego and coming together as a family to put on a show. I think I'll definitely take away all of those relationships. There's seasons to everything, and while it's hard to say goodbye, I'm not saying goodbye. This community is still the community, right? I will have friends for the rest of my life.
Like they say about the Velvet Underground, there might have only been 1,000 people that bought the record, but every one of those people made their own band.
Oh yeah.
And I think that it's reasonable to assert the same about Mary and Twelfth Night.
If you were a part of any show that I was a part of, you made an impact on me. And especially to both Mary and Rick, I don't think I can really verbalize how grateful I am. You gave thousands of people a place to belong.
It's not a sudden death. It's something that's kind of been coming, and you know that it's coming. And it's not really a death, because all the people that we've been involved with, so many of the friends we made, are still around, and we'll still be able to get together and do things. It just won't necessarily be a play.
We could have continued, but it just wouldn't be 12th Night anymore. I mean, you could turn it into a semi-professional theater, or even at a community level where you're paying people to be the artistic director and whatnot. But it just wouldn't be the same. Mary really provided a lot of the magic.
It's been quite an amazing experience, and I'm very proud of everything that we've done and that everybody else has contributed. And I want to see them all again and again.